I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would the Odyssey contestants like to lead us in the flag salute? You just have to stand and lead us in the flag salute. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sunshine Law Statement, all requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met for this meeting of the Board of Education of the Borough of Oradell. Notice of this meeting was filed with the record in Town News and all persons requesting such notice. Mr. Griffin, would you read the mission statement?
Sure. The Oradell Public School District is dedicated to the ongoing pursuit of educational excellence through comprehensive, innovative curriculum and instruction. The district is committed to providing opportunities for social, emotional, and academic discovery to foster curiosity, courage, and character. Our goal is to prepare our students to become lifelong learners who are self-directed, resilient, productive, responsible citizens.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mrs. Needham,
Here.
Mr. Griffin,
Here?
Mrs. Levy,
Here.
Mrs. Norian, Mr. Pirro, Mrs. Walker, Mr. Walsh, Mr. Darian, Mrs. Nichols.
Here, open to the public for agenda items only. If you're joining us on Zoom, please raise your digital hand. Okay, not seeing anyone, we'll move forward. The first thing I wanted to do was read a thank you note that the board received from our last meeting from Jane Heedy. Dear Board of Education, thank you for the beautiful Bulova clock presented to me at the board meeting. It's a reminder to me of how fast time truly goes by. I enjoyed every minute in my classroom as well as the hours spent with my preschool staff. Again, thank you for your thoughtfulness, Jane Heedy. So I thought that was nice to hear from her. So before I guess we get into our meeting, we have a special presentation this evening. Our Odyssey of the Mind team. No, and is it on? Nobody needs a mask in here, by the way.
Tracy Shum, Odyssey of the Mind coach and teacher at OPS. So what a year. I'm going to keep it brief, but wow. This was a year with none of our tools, none of our supplies. We started out with a team of 4, the minimum is 5. So I forget who, I think it might have been Lydia who asked me, are they going to let us do it with 4? I said, even if they don't, we're going to do it. So we were down a man and they really pulled it together. 14-hour Zoom calls are much different than 14 hours in the multipurpose room, laughing, bonding, eating good snacks, using power tools. So this was all the work and none of the fun. I would like to point out that they were regional champions, state champions, and though they placed 10 out of 76 in their international portion of the competition, they actually, the long-term problem, which you usually see if you come to visit us in the multi-purpose room and we do the skit with all the props and everything, they were actually 3rd out of 76. So super duper proud. I was out the week before regionals for surgery, and my Sheila O'Hare Barrows, who we gave her an OMA award for it, stepped right in, didn't miss a beat. So thank you, Sheila. Just super, super proud. And I wanted to thank the board as always for your support. Mr. Walsh, you've been with me since the beginning, and I just thank you. You're the heart of the problem with me. So I appreciate that. But it's always nice to know we're supported, and we can't wait to clog up the building use schedule next year. Wait for it. So yeah, we want to be back in business. So, and thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you. So before we do the certificates, do any of the participants want to speak? Would any of you like to speak?
Sanvi's coming back. She's a fifth grader. Nobody wants to speak? You're getting shy on
You
me
don't have
now?
to. It's up to you.
All right, I'll tell you the secrets of the. Oh, and we have a banner for you, and it should even out the entranceway top left, and we're good.
I was actually wondering what Sanvi has.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So they did bring some of the things that they made. One of the challenges this year is, and you're used to walking the halls, hopefully not with the fire marshal, and seeing all of our big stuff in the hallway. One of the biggest challenges for us, it was almost like doing a puppet show. They never met together ever. And it was all performed and recorded on a Zoom meeting. So everything had to fit in that frame. I have it. I will get it to you. It's on a YouTube channel. I just have to get there. That's my last hurdle.
So now you have to explain what that is.
Yes, so our team T-shirts that Lydia designed are Believe in the Power of Teamwork, and they were the B team. So it was obviously centered around bees, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, just talk. Let him have it. Lydia's coming up. Lydia's coming. She's got your back. Go, Lydia.
Okay.
Come on, support your team.
You gotta talk into the mic, though, kiddo.
Lydia, you designed the t-shirts?
Yeah,
I did. Thank you. So basically these are just scenery. They went in the background of Jocelyn's. I made them. Basically they're a bunch of hexagons supposed to look like a beehive. The background here is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but like this background, it's kind of falling apart. We haven't used it for a while. This paper in the back is actually wallpaper samples that we got from like this place that sells wallpaper. We had to ask for it, and they gave us a book full of wallpaper samples, and we had to use them and cut them up. We use them in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you use them in your scenery too in the back.
Yeah, we use it in other scenery too.
Where's the beekeeper hat?
In your room.
We need to close the meeting. She doesn't have the hat. She was supposed to wear the hat. So tell them what the hat was.
Okay. So we had this beekeeper hat that I wore. Sandy made most of it. So basically we took tea bags.
The
Like the
packets
packets that
from
tea bags go
Misham.
in. Yeah, from Misham because she drinks a lot of tea. So we had to fold them, and Sandy folded them all into the chain. We had like 12 feet at the end, I think.
Like a gum
was a
chain, like
lot.
you used to do with gum
How
wrappers.
many months of tea bags are?
I'm taking the fifth on that one.
Last year when I did it, she said that she started saving them like in January of last year because I remember this happening
Yeah.
and she decided to do this.
It was green tea, if that's better. So,
It was a lot of tea.
and then you had the actual used tea bags in the back
Yes,
to make the shield.
and then like I don't know what this part is called, but on beekeeper hat has like this part that goes around your face.
The netting,
Yes. We used actual tea bags for that part. They were like dry tea bags. And then we put a bunch of mesh around it. It looked like a beekeeper hat.
Do you want to say anything about the character or no? That's up to you.
I don't know.
No?
No, not really.
Anybody?
So the character that wears the beekeeper hat is called Nick, based off of the person who wrote The Flight of the Bumblebee. Now, for our problem, this character would need to travel to a virtual world and complete multiple tasks in order to get back to the real world. And so we completed this by having Nick, our character, going into this bee world where all the bees didn't fly because of a evil queen. And then through teaching the bees to fly through music, he ends up getting them to fly, and then they escape.
Marie Antoinette. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And Nick earns credits with the help
of Dolly, Mr. BG, humming the songs, so then Nick could learn them and then find out the tune and then earn the credits to get out of there. And then to show that it wasn't all a dream, Mr. BG comes along with Nick to back to the real world.
All right, so before you sit down, we'll do the certificates and take a picture, okay? So we have 1 5th grader, 2 6th graders, and a student from Riverdale. So I'll read what the certificate says, and then we'll call you up, and then we'll take a picture with your principal and our superintendent. So it says Certificate of Recognition, Odyssey of the Mind for school year 2021, in recognition of first place at regionals, state champions for state finals, and 10th out of 76 teams for world finals. Congratulations from Oradell Public Schools. So the first person we have is Sanvi Gower. You can come on up. You can just stand right here. We're gonna take a picture. Next, we have Lydia Freed. Next, we have Natalie Gramaches. Congratulations. And Jocelyn Gramaches. We'll go back. So you want to take a picture, Ms. Bozius and Ms. Hawley? And you got to hold your, you need to hold your banner. Thank you for coming. I'm sure we'll see you in the newsletter. So we can take a 2-minute break if you want to leave or if you're staying. I'm not sure what you want to do, but don't worry about staying if you don't want to. Okay, we'll move forward. So we're excited to have our new superintendent at the table tonight. And I'm going to send it over to her, and I had talked to her today and asked her to maybe give us a few words because there were some questions on Linkit. And also, I don't know if you saw the email, but she had sent us an email about the reopening plan, and there's some explanation that needs to be given before it goes online. So I'll turn it over to our superintendent.
Okay, well, first of all, I am very excited to finally be on this side of the table. Ironically, a little nervous, it seems. I would have thought I'd been here so many times, I wouldn't feel that way. So in terms of things ahead, I did email you the safe return plan. And as we begin to plan for a full return to school in September, we have been awarded additional funding. You're going to hear it called in the news, either the American Rescue Plan or the American Rescue Plan as part of the elementary and secondary schools emergency relief or ESSER funding. So around here, we typically call it ESSER funding. We are required to place the plan on our website, even though we know the guidelines are going to change and that plan is going to change. So right now, it reflects what the current guidance is in terms of executive orders for masks or for distancing. But that may change, and at that time, we'll begin to revise our plan again. The actual ESSER application isn't due until November. And that's a really great thing for us because we can really take some time to think about how to best use those funds for learning loss and learning acceleration. So in the area of learning, when Mrs. Longo was asked at a previous board meeting to look at academic achievement, I started to look at Linkit. And we have not yet received our Navigator C results. So the data I'm sharing with you is my manual calculations. So when they come in, they may be tenths of a point or a point different, but I'm excited to share that we did meet our district goal. So our learning goals for Linkit were for grades 3 through 6 to grow an average of 10 points in language arts and 25 points in math. We grew exactly 10 points in language arts and 29 points in math. So the question is that important? Is that significant? So I went back to our last full year of school. I didn't look at last year. I looked at the last full year. And that year, we grew 30 points in math. So just 1 percentage point more than this year. And we only grew 8 points in language arts that year. So we actually grew more in language arts this year than we did then. So we continue to look at Linkit all the time. We may not always be sharing that with you, but Linkit, along with our other district benchmarks, which are assessments we give all students. So in second grade, DIBELS is one that we give all students. Our reading assessments are another one we give all students. That's how we make decisions about intervention programs. So Mr. Walsh had asked about what are we doing for the students who may not be meeting benchmarks? And we have numerous programs going on right now. So we have a Title I program that meets before school for students in kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. That program services 40 students who have been identified as having a weakness in a specific area. In second grade, that might be phonetics. In third grade, it's math facts. So when we do programs like that, they're intervention programs based on a specific targeted skill. Okay. We also have next week, we have another program running, also funded by title funds, that is also being used to jumpstart students into the summer, students we've identified who can't have any more learning loss. That program is not going to make huge gains. It's 5 days, but what it will do is it'll help get students on the right path to make sure more regression doesn't occur. And the big task of the administrative team this summer will be how will we use our second round of funding, our first round of ESSER funding on learning loss and learning growth programs. Right now, the current plan is to run a July-August program that will be remote, again, to target students at specific growth levels. So data is something we look at all the time, and you can always know that. Anything that you want to know about our data, we'll always be happy to share. Finally, I just wanted to, on a more fun note, thank Mrs. Nigam for speaking yesterday to the class at graduation. For those of you who did not hear, it started to rain the minute the students stopped singing. It was like a gift. And for those of members of the board that were there, I love when we can all come together. And finally, you will notice that we have a new member in our audience today. Today, you will have the opportunity to approve a new assistant principal. Mrs. Melissa Avgerinos is joining us. And as I have shared previously, there were 170 applicants for the assistant principal position at Oradell Public School. And we are incredibly proud and excited to have her join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Business administrators report.
Can I ask a quick question? Is that okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the results that you gave. At the end of last year with the, when it was during the pandemic and stuff for the summer, the kids were able to access online. Will that still be available?
Yes. So
Okay.
Dreambox for grades K and exiting 1, and IXL for exiting 2 and up.
And that something will go out so everybody, awesome. That was my question. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. Marmora?
Nothing to report, but I did want to highlight a couple of the finance resolutions that are on tonight's agenda. The first one being D10, which we just received this afternoon. It's a donation from the Book and Needle Women's Club of Oradell. It's for the OPS auditorium in honor of the sixth grade class of 2021. Also for D16 and D19, in the heading of the resolution, the correct school year should be 2021, 2022. So it's just a typo. And then for D14, that's the amount of instructional supplies that were ordered, and it's the correct number is 24,652 and 56 cents, and that should be reflected in the body of the resolution. So as you can see, the body of the resolution has the incorrect amount. And then finally for D18, it's the long list of vendors that we have on tonight's agenda. This is just so we remain in compliance, letting all the board members know that we're in accordance to state and federal purchasing laws, and we have the proper documentation of these vendors on file. And that's all I have for a report.
Thank you. We'll move to minutes, review of June 9th. Any questions or comments, please email Mr. Marmora. We have an approval of May 26th. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. Any questions? Call the question.
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh, Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, we'll move to committee reports. A, administrative items. Mr. Walsh, would you take A1? Second by Mrs. Levy. Any questions? Call the question.
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh, Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, buildings and grounds. Our members are not here. Mr. Walsh, is there anything from buildings and grounds?
Buildings and Grounds had a meeting last week.
Oh, that's right.
The minutes will be in the next meeting, the next 7 minutes.
Okay. Curriculum, Mrs. Norian is on here. Mrs. Levy, anything curriculum? Finance technology, Mrs. Shapiro is on here. Mr. Griffin, you want to take that?
Sure. I move that we, I move D1 through D25.
Second by Mr. Walsh. Any questions? Call the question.
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, personnel, the committee is not here. Mrs. Levy, you want to move these?
Sure. I move F1 through F9.
Any questions? Call the question.
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh, Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, policy, Mrs. Levy.
I offer a second reading and adoption of the policies in G1.
Second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. Any questions? Call the question.
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh, Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh. Oh, sorry. Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, we will skip to,
Oh, You
Did I
you
skip
said-
Mr. Griffin?
You did,
I'm sorry.
sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
we'll move to
Gotcha.
Mr. Griffin on the task force.
No new update.
But we will be having a meeting because we'll need to do it for the reopening plan at some point.
Yep.
Okay, we are open to the public for any topic you would like to discuss. If you're joining us on Zoom, please raise your digital hand. Okay, moving forward, any old or new business? Mrs. Levy?
I wanted to welcome Mrs. Averinos. Oh, so sorry. Welcome. Look forward to working with you and welcome to the OPS family. I also wanted to thank the administration and everybody. I know this is a crazy week. I know that the weather has not been necessarily on our side, but I saw lots of smiling faces and happy sixth graders who got to officially celebrate their end of the OPS time. And so I know that that's not easy for any of you. I also look forward to one of you or all of you getting some pie tomorrow. I understand you guys enjoy pies, so yet again, another example of your dedication. So thank you very much. And congratulations to all of the sixth graders and good luck in Riverdale.
Mr. Griffin?
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to everybody. I was looking through the school yearbook and I was so moved by what this year has been. No one would have wanted this year to be all the things that we had to face, but seeing the faces of these kids in these boxes, and how we were able to transform that. It's just amazing. There's so many memories in there. Real big thank you to all the people behind the scenes that put that together. But more importantly, all the memories that were made here at the school and the way the administrative team worked to make sure that school was going to be able to function at the highest capacity possible. Really appreciate it. Congratulations to everybody here.
Mr. Walsh?
I suppose so we have the results.
Oh, turn your mic on, Mr. Walsh.
Will we have the results of the Lincoln test before the next meeting?
I can reach out to Linkit. I would prefer not to do it manually. I prefer their actual full analysis.
Okay,
So I'll reach out and see how fast they can get them to us.
well, if not, maybe we can have it before we have our
Mhm.
July 31st,
28th.
28th? Okay. I would have missed that meeting.
Any other old or new business? Yeah, that's true. Put it in the newsletter. Well, this newsletter is going to be big.
First time sitting on that side.
Would our new vice principal like to say anything? You don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot. So if you don't want to, don't. But if you'd like to, please. We're happy for you to join us. What did you do for the last 20 minutes? Ah. Ah. Let's do a test run tonight. See if it works.
Wait, I move that we do a test roll.
Second.
That'll be recorded.
Oh, yeah, definitely recorded. Well, the only other piece of new business we have is the parade, July 4th. So I guess when we get the details, I think we're still meeting down on First Street or whatever.
I'm not going to be able to make it this year.
You're not?
No.
Huh. Well, we may as well not march then.
Oh,
We have to get
Why?
the banner, though.
Picture, I think, is what we should
We'll get a
do.
big head thing on a pole.
We should.
Jeremy asked me if I wanted to use a golf cart.
He said no, but we could
I
have a
could have.
cutout.
My son has one. I should have brought it from Florida.
You
But
could, my husband will drive you in his.
your husband
convertible.
said that after the last parade. Yes.
Yeah, the convertible behind.
Are you going to be here or you're just not going to be here?
I'm gonna be in Oradell, but I don't think I can walk.
Oh, we're going to get a convertible and drive you. Oh yeah, we got a new pickup truck with our Panther pole on the side. We should all go in the back and ride and throw
That
candy.
sounds like a great
That
idea.
sounds better.
I always try to get,
I might have to participate even though.
I always tried to get the senior van, but,
We want the
That never
Panther
worked
paw.
out.
All right, so if I hear anything from the town, I'll send it out, but we're marching, so we have to get the banner out of the school.
Are we
Needham?
supposed to wear special t-shirts?
Oh, actually, yes, we have board shirts. You have to order one. So if not, you wear a maroon one this year.
If you reach out to me, I'll see if the store where I got mine is still
Has
in
some?
business, and then
Okay.
you can have it
Okay.
made. Just let me know.
Let's
Well,
start there.
okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Or you can borrow somebody's. Who left the board? VJ. You can borrow VJ's. Any other old or new business?
maybe the administrators would walk with us.
Some of them are away. Wait,
Okay.
we'll wait till next year when we have a full parade again. I don't know if it's gonna be a full parade. Okay, anything else? If not,
No, I second things.
motion to adjourn and
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good
Gene
week. Happy
Westlake would
4th of
be-
July.